a dynasty that ruled for 500 years but left almost no archaeological evidence. Sounds impossible, right? The Xia Dynasty, China's legendary first dynasty, has baffled historians for centuries. Was it real, or just an elaborate myth? But here's what shocked me. Recent excavations have uncovered evidence that's forcing scholars to rewrite ancient Chinese history. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal will completely change how you understand the birth of Chinese civilization. We're diving into palaces buried under rivers, mysterious bronze artifacts, and a flood so massive it might have actually happened. The dynasty that shouldn't exist. Let's be honest, the Xia dynasty is history's greatest mystery. According to ancient Chinese texts written thousands of years later, the Xia ruled from approximately 2070 to 1600 BCE. That's nearly 5 centuries of rule. Yet for the longest time, Western scholars dismissed it as pure mythology. Why? Because unlike Egypt's pyramids or Mesopotamia's ziggurats, there was virtually no physical evidence. Here's the crazy part. Chinese historians never doubted its existence. For over 3,000 years, texts like the Records of the Grand Historian by Sima Qian described the Xia in vivid detail, its 17 kings, its capital cities, even its downfall. But Western academics said, "Show us the proof." If the Xia was real, Chinese civilization would be proven to be one of the world's oldest continuous cultures. If it was myth, then China's historical foundation would crumble. But wait, there's something even more surprising that archaeologists discovered in 1959. The Erlitou discovery that changed everything. Picture this, it's 1959 and Chinese archaeologists are digging in Henan province near the Yellow River. They're expecting to find, well, nothing spectacular. Then they uncover something extraordinary. A massive palace complex covering over 300,000 square meters. That's roughly 42 football fields. The Erlitou site revealed bronze workshops producing weapons and ritual vessels, elaborate palace foundations with rammed earth construction, turquoise dragon artifacts showing advanced craftsmanship, urban planning that predates anything else in ancient China. Here's what blew my mind. Radiocarbon dating placed Erlitou's peak between 1900 to 1500 BCE, exactly when ancient texts said the Xia dynasty ruled. The location also perfectly matched historical descriptions of the Xia capital region. And before you ask, no, they didn't find a giant sign saying "Welcome to Xia Dynasty HQ, established 2070 BCE. That would have made things way too easy. But here's the real question. Does finding a Bronze Age city in the right place at the right time prove it was the Xia? That's where things get complicated. The Great Flood, myth or reality? You know what's crazy? Every ancient culture has a flood story. Noah's Ark, the Epic of Gilgamesh, and yes, the Great Flood of Gunyu in Chinese mythology. According to legend, the Xia dynasty was founded because of this flood. Emperor Yu supposedly spent 13 years controlling the waters through engineering genius, earning him the throne. For centuries, scholars assumed this was pure mythology. Then in 2016, a team of researchers published a study in Science magazine that literally made jaws drop worldwide. They found geological evidence of a massive flood around 1920 BCE on the Yellow River, potentially the largest flood in the past 10,000 years. Here's the shocking data. A landslide created a natural dam 240 meters high. When it burst, it released approximately 11 to 16 cubic kilometers of water. The flood's timing? It aligns perfectly with the traditional founding date of the Xi. This changes everything. If the flood was real, then Emperor Yu might have been a real historical figure who gained power through disaster management. It's like ancient China's first infrastructure president. Let me tell you something. This discovery sent shockwaves through the archaeological community, but it also raised new questions about what else in Chinese mythology might be historical fact. Emperor Yu is basically ancient China's superhero origin story. The texts describe him as a brilliant hydraulic engineer who dug channels, dredged rivers, and created irrigation systems. For 13 years, he supposedly worked so hard he passed his own home 3 times without stopping to visit his family. Talk about dedication. But here's why this matters. The Xia dynasty wasn't just founded on military conquest. It was built on technological innovation and public works. This sets it apart from nearly every other ancient dynasty we know. Modern scholars studying ancient Chinese hydrology have found something fascinating. Many of the flood control techniques described in Yu's legends actually work. They match sophisticated engineering principles that we know were used in later Chinese dynasties. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe Yu was a real engineer whose achievements got amplified into legend. Though I'm guessing the ancient texts might have exaggerated a bit. I mean, some versions claim he could transform into a bear. Unless ancient China had some seriously weird genetic experiments going on, I'm calling mythology on that one. The real question is, if Yu was real, what was the Xia dynasty's government actually like? Power, bronze, and ritual, how the Xia ruled. Here's where it gets interesting. The Xia dynasty represents China's transition from Neolithic tribal societies to centralized state power. And the key to that power? Bronze. At Erlitou, archaeologists found China's earliest bronze ritual vessels, objects that would become central to Chinese political power for the next 2,000 years. Why does bronze matter so much? Only the ruling elite could produce bronze weapons and ritual vessels. Controlling bronze technology meant controlling military superiority. Bronze vessels were used in ancestor worship ceremonies that validated royal authority. The Erlitou site shows evidence of specialized workshops producing bronze exclusively for the ruling class. This wasn't just about making better tools, it was about creating a symbol system that said, "We have divine approval to rule." Think about it. If you're a rival chieftain and the Xia king shows up with bronze weapons while you're still using stone tools, that's not a fair fight. And if he performs elaborate rituals with gleaming bronze vessels that supposedly connect him to the gods, that's psychological warfare at its finest. But wait, there's something even more surprising about how the dynasty fell. Quick favor before we continue. If you're finding this dive into ancient Chinese history as fascinating as I am, smash that like button and subscribe. It genuinely helps the algorithm show this content to more history lovers like you. Plus, hit the bell so you don't miss the next video where we explore what daily life was actually like in Bronze Age China. Now back to the dramatic fall of the Xia. The tyrant king and the dynasty's downfall. Every dynasty needs a villain origin story for its downfall, and the Xia has a legendary one, King Jie, the last Xia ruler. According to historical texts, Jie was basically ancient China's poster child for tyranny. The accusations against him include excessive taxation that bankrupted the people, building extravagant palaces while subjects starved, ignoring natural disasters and refusing flood relief, keeping a harem and obsessing over his favorite concubine, Moxie. Here's what's fascinating. This narrative pattern, virtuous founder, corrupt final ruler, appears in almost every Chinese dynasty's historical record. It's the mandate of heaven formula. Good rulers prosper, bad rulers fall, and the cycle begins again. But you know what? There might be truth buried in the propaganda. Archaeological evidence from late Erlitou shows signs of decline, smaller construction projects, reduced bronze production, and eventual abandonment of major sites. Something definitely went wrong. Around 1600 BCE, the Shang dynasty rose up and conquered the Xia. Unlike the Xia, the Shang left tons of archaeological evidence, oracle bones, massive tombs, inscribed bronze vessels. The Shang's existence is unquestionable, which ironically makes their records about defeating the Xia more credible. The real question is, what can we actually prove about the Xia today? The evidence debate, what do we actually know? Let's be honest, this is where historians start fighting at academic conferences. The debate over the Xia's existence breaks down into three camps. Erlitou's dating matches textual descriptions perfectly. The 2016 flood evidence corroborates the founding myth. Bronze technology and urban planning show state-level organization. Chinese historical texts maintain consistent records for 3,000 years. No written records from the Xia period itself. Writing appears with the Shang. No definitive artifact says made in Xia dynasty. Later dynasties had political reasons to invent earlier legitimacy. Erlitou could be an early Shang site or a different culture entirely. There was a Bronze Age state in the Yellow River region before the Shang. Whether we should call it Xia depends on how we define dynasties. The archaeological culture exists. The dynasty name might be retroactive. Some elements are historical, others legendary. Separating them is the challenge. Here's my take. The evidence suggests a proto-state existed in the right time and place. Was it called Xia by its own people? We can't prove that yet, but dismissing it as pure myth ignores too much archaeological evidence. The search continues, and honestly, that's what makes this so exciting. So here's what we know for sure. Whether you call it the Xia Dynasty or the Erlitou culture, a sophisticated Bronze Age civilization thrived in ancient China between 2000 to 1600 BCE. They mastered bronze casting, built impressive palaces, and possibly survived a catastrophic flood that reshaped the Yellow River. That's not mythology, that's archaeology. The Xia dynasty bridges the gap between Neolithic villages and the historically confirmed Shang dynasty. Recent discoveries, especially the 2016 flood evidence, are transforming the debate from "was it real?" to "what was it really like?" Bronze technology was the key to centralized political power in ancient China. Now I'm curious, do you think the Xia dynasty was a real historical state or an elaborate origin myth created by later dynasties? Drop your vote in the comments, Team Real or Team Myth. And if you want to explore more about this era, let me know what aspects fascinate you most. The warfare? The daily life? The religion? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into ancient history. Hit that bell so you catch the next one. Speaking of Bronze Age China, in my next video I'll reveal what Chinese society was actually like during the Bronze Age. We're talking about social hierarchies, shocking burial practices, and the origins of Chinese writing. You won't believe what archaeologists found in Shang Dynasty tombs. Trust me, it's wild. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.